The curtains of Stranger Things Season 4 have shut, but you might have missed a few things right before it closed. So here are 17 details you missed from the Season 4 finale. Don't go anywhere because they definitely flew right under your nose. Michael Myers references. At the end of Season 4, Eleven pulled Vecna away from Max and pinned him against a pillar, the same pillar where he kept his victims. At the same time, Murray roasts the upside-down creatures at the Russian prison, which weakens Vecna enough for Nancy, Steve, and Robin to deliver the final blow. Vecna goes flying out the window, which makes it seem like he is defeated, but when the group gets downstairs, his body is gone. This scene is a reference to the 1978 Halloween movie when Michael Myers is shot several times and falls off a balcony. He seems dead at first, but then his body disappears, which indicated that he was still alive. This moment hints at Vecna's return in the 5th season. Another callback to Michael Myers is Vecna's head tilt, which is Michael's signature pose. Eddie also wears a Michael Myers costume when the Hawkins group was trying to leave town. Star Wars similarities. When Eleven stops Vecna from killing Max, she lifts him and turns him around. However, she isn't able to hold him for long because she wasn't strong enough, which was what Brenner warned her about when she told him she wanted to face him. Eleven ignored Brenner's warnings, determined to return to Hawkins and save her friends. Her actions are similar to Luke Skywalker's actions in The Empire Strikes Back when he wanted to stop his training with Yoda early so he could help Leia and Han Solo. Vecna also shares similar characteristics with Emperor Palpatine. He tells Eleven he wants her to watch while he carries out his maniacal plan.
I want you to watch.
Similar to what Palpatine told Luke in Return of the Jedi.
You will witness the end of your insignificant rebellion.
Vecna still has Max. At the hospital, Elle tries to enter Max's mind, but she doesn't find anything there. This indicates that Vecna still has Max trapped inside his mind. In Season 4, Brenner told Elle that Vecna didn't just kill his victims, he consumed them. One also supported this statement in Episode 7 when he tells Eleven that the children from the Hawkins facility were not dead. Instead, they were with him in his mind.
They're not gone. They're still with me. Here.
Max regaining full consciousness will likely depend on Eleven defeating Vecna for good. The Talisman. Elle, Mike, and Will visit Max at the hospital where Lucas is reading to her. The book he is reading is Stephen King's The Talisman. This book has some similarities with Stranger Things in that they both involve opposite dimensions. The Duffer Brothers are also working on making a live-action version of The Talisman with Steven Spielberg. Eddie's Sacrifice. Eddie's sacrifice was foreshadowed several times throughout Volume 1. From the very first episode, he spoke about how he would finally graduate and pass on the leadership of the Hellfire Club to Mike and Dustin. And in the consecutive episodes, he constantly spoke about how he wasn't a hero and simply ran away whenever things got tough. Even moments before his death, he told Steve that he and Dustin were no heroes.
Look at us. We are not heroes.
Sadly, even after his sacrifice, Eddie was still hated all over town and was blamed for all the deaths in Hawkins. His uncle always believed in his innocence, so even when people destroyed his missing person flyer, he replaced it with a new one. Thankfully, Dustin told him the truth, which led to a very emotional moment between the two. 3 inches. Another emotional scene in the final episode was Eleven and Hopper's reunion. She told him that she still kept the door open 3 inches.
I kept the door open 3 inches.
Just like he told her to in Season 3.
3-inch minimum. Leave the door open.
And you might have noticed that her door was also open 3 inches in the first episode of Season 4. The Coke bottle. When Elle returns home, she finds an empty Coke bottle under her bed, which was the same one she and Max used when they spied on the boys in Season 3. Finding the bottle at that moment is heartbreaking for Elle because she was forced to remember the earlier days of her friendship with Max. With Max trapped in a coma, the bottle is one of the few things she has left of her. One created the Mind Flayer. It turns out that one created the Mind Flayer from the darkness and the Upside Down after he was sent there by Eleven. The Mind Flayer is modeled after the Black Widow spiders that Henry befriended at the Creel house. He also sketched the Mind Flayer when he was young. His drawing of the Mind Flayer is eerily similar to the one Will drew in Season 2. This is also a callback to what Billy told her in Season 3 when he said that they had been building it for her. Now that it's clear it was Vecna all along, it shows that he created the Mind Flayer for 11. At first, one waited in the Upside Down hoping that one day 11 would open a gate and he could seek his revenge. Brenner was obsessed with the Upside Down, so he forced 11 to open another gate, which she unknowingly did when she found a Demogorgon in the first season. After Elle closes the gate and killed the monsters, one decided not to wait anymore. He started looking for a way to open gates by himself, so he used the Mind Flayer to steal 11's powers in Season 3. 4 chimes means 4 deaths. Vecna needed to open 4 gates, which would then split the world open. To open the gates, he needed to consume 4 souls. The grandfather clock that appeared to his victims to signal their impending deaths always chimed 4 times to signify the 4 deaths that he needed. The 4 deaths might also be connected to the 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse signifying death and destruction all over the world, which fits right in with how the town was destroyed after the 4 gates were opened. Plus, if you look closely, you would notice the clock at the Krill house and at the Hawkins facility were both at 3 o'clock, which is a reference to the teenagers Vecna had already killed. A 4-phase plan. Yet another reference to the number 4 is the Hawkins crew's 4-phase plan to kill Vecna. All goes well within the plan at first, but then things start taking a completely different turn. Max tries to hide in the memory of the snowball dance from Season 2, but she has no idea that while they were dancing in the school hall, the Mind Flayer was watching them from the Upside Down. And what the Mind Flayer sees, Vecna sees. Vecna follows her to the snowball dance and changes the once happy memory into a disaster. He reveals that he knew about their plan all along and slams her into the wall, the same way 11 slammed him against the wall in Volume 1. She also did the same thing to the Demogorgon in the final episode of Season 1. 11 shows up before Vecna can claim Max. She holds him in the air and turns him around just like he did to her at the Hawkins facility and like she did to the helicopter in Volume 1, Episode 8. Mike is the heart of the group. Vecna traps 11 with his vines, but Mike's words give her the strength she needs to break free. The show has shown how powerful love can be when trapped in Vecna's mindscape. Max also needed to focus on happy memories to escape from Vecna's mindscape in Episode 4. This is a reference to Mike's role in the group as illustrated in Will's painting. Mike is the heart of the group, and as Will said, the group would fall apart without him.
I mean, without Hard, we'd all fall apart.
And if you thought the painting looked familiar, then you're right, because it is. When Will goes missing in Season 1, Mike looks at a few drawings that show the team battling a dragon similar to the dragon they battle in Will's painting. This dragon could also be the beast with the gaping mouth that Nancy refers to in Episode 8. Will tells Mike that Elle forced him to make the painting.
She told me what to draw.
But in the first episode of Season 4, 11 sends Mike a letter telling him that Will refuses to show her his paintings. Will probably felt too embarrassed to tell Mike the actual reason he made the painting, which was why he said 11 made him do it. Hawkins is rotting away. In the final scenes of the episode, Will tells Mike that he knows Vecna is never going to stop.
And he's not going to stop.
11 also sees the flowers wilting away as the darkness from the Upside Down spreads into Hawkins. This is similar to what happened in Season 2 when a pumpkin field goes rotten because of the tunnels from the Upside Down. With all 4 gates open, Vecna can invade the world with an army of creatures from the Upside Down, just like he showed Nancy in Episode 8. During this vision, Vecna also shows Nancy the grandfather clock from the Krill house winding backwards like it did when Henry controlled it. This could indicate a possible time jump by 11 in Season 5 where she goes back to the moment before Vecna kills Max and defeats him, thereby stopping the final sacrifice and saving the town. One thing's for sure, Vecna will definitely be returning to terrorize the people of Hawkins in the final season.